Whatever. Okay. What a way to start that. Welcome back, and continuing with Obsession. In March of 1986, we saw the debut full-length album from Obsession, titled Scarred for Life. This was the follow-up to their 1983 debut EP, Martial Law. So, is there any big difference between here? Not really. This is still a continuation in that sound. They still have that sound that was presented on Martial Law, albeit maybe not nearly as strong, but still is. Now, of course, the album starts off with the title track, which of course it starts with an intro. Very cheesy, in a way. Kind of with some little keyboards, whatever, synths. Almost sounded like to some really cheesy horror movie from the time. But of course, there's definitely ambience or something from like the guitars or something a little bit from there before heading into the track, which is, of course, is very much a speed metal-esque track. It still sounds like Obsession, but still, the title track is definitely a good way, with Winner Take All, with, of course, being kind of a mid-pace song as well, which is still pretty good. Losing My Mind, on the other hand, is, it's okay. Not bad. I really can't say too much about it, so it's just an okay track. In the End is actually another good track on here, so really, I'll just get into the really good ones. In the End kind of is a slow track a bit, but not as similar to Hatred Unto Death, but it's got a bit of a similar approach in some ways. It's definitely a good track. Bang 'Em Till They Bleed, which is, of course, is a speed metal song alongside Take No Prisoners and Run Into the Night. Both these three tracks are definitely one of the most speed metal songs on this album. But with Take No Prisoners, it starts off with a bit of a intro titled 3156. Yeah, so with that, it's kind of a slow track, but it's kind of a build-up to this track. Definitely a highlight from here, along with Taking Your Chances and so forth. And of course, the album does end with kind of a sort of melodic track right here. It's not really ballad. Again, it's kind of close to the likes of like Lady and The Lady Wore Black. It's kind of close to, or maybe not as much like Beyond the Realms of Death, but it's kind of close to some of that sort of style of song. And it's Tomorrow Hides No Lies. It's very much a that type of track. It's not really ballad, but it's got a bit of a melodic track to it. I can't really say anything. I can't really call it about. I don't know what other word to really use for these types of songs, because they're not ballads. They're just a very melodic, sort of emotional type of songs. And it's definitely a kind of a good way to end the album. But so with that, I do have to point out that the reason is why I said that the album is not nearly as good as the Martial Law EP is, for one, while the music is good in a way, to me, I think what holds this album back is the production. And of course, it was produced by the same guy who did Martial Law, Brian Keane. For some reason, the mixing for this album seems very off. It's a bit... I don't know what happened within the mixing. It's like the drums are like on another side of the fucking ear, and while the guitars are just... Right, it's a very thin sounding album. It's not nearly as punchy or very in your face like with Martial Law, where it's got even at times even a fat sort of production, but here it just sounds very thin, and I think it holds the album back. But still, nonetheless, a good album from a underappreciated band. So with that, it's time to get into the next one, and it's the album that pretty much introduced me with them alongside the Shadows of Steel song off of Metal Massacre Volume 2. So, it's time to see you on the other side. Of course, if you haven't heard Scarred for Life, what are your thoughts on this album? Do you think it's as good as the Martial Law EP, or do you think it's not as good? What are your thoughts? Leave them that down in the comments below. Whatever.